That's the way to do it. You don't want to waste a second of this life, Alex.
You can set your light. You can set your watch by Bruce.
What were you going
turns
to say?
up.
Set your light.
I don't know.
What?
You set your life by Bruce.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
He's a man in the fast lane.
I've been bloody slow today, I tell you. I've been doing all sorts of boring things to make myself grateful for sitting through that second half yesterday.
I went to banger racing.
We are all shocked you've done boring things, Bruce.
What? You went to banger racing what, today, or instead of watching the second half yesterday?
Today. It was very much like watching Colchester. Load of old bangers smashing into each other. Have you been taken out by a tow truck?
But so I've been shopping, washed the car, which I haven't done, but it was a really nice. I don't know what it was like down with you boys, but it's been lovely up here today. So I was been out in the sunshine. I'd separate a cat fight. There was 2 cats fighting on the street. I thought they might be ours, and I was already committed by the time I realised that it wasn't either of our 2. So
now you're just a crazy cat man.
Yeah, but I actually I went to try and help, and then one of them shot out from under a car in the road. So I nearly actually caused a disaster. So I won't be helping again.
I've thought a life lesson for me for some time might be beware of Bruce, especially if he says he's here to help. As I say, beware of your government when it says it's here to help.
So it's quiet today, isn't it? 3 of us. The rest of them are all keen. Want me to sit through that again? Oh, I can't help. I'm busy.
Do you remember when Sam used to be a member of this podcast?
Do you remember when he used to give everybody grief about how often he was here?
Yeah, he did. He used to. So we are looking for someone to replace Sam. So if anybody does want to come on board with,
we are like government, aren't we? There's the pod chat's it's got less public facing people in it. We're full of civil servants.
We're full of spads. Do you Youngie's on holiday, isn't he?
Yeah, is he?
Yeah. You remember when I was on holiday? I showed up.
First and foremost,
you showed up more, mate, because you was up here.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't call it a holiday if you're actually closer to the football club you podcast on than you would be normally.
As my wife started calling it, it's her marriage mandated holiday, where she has to go back to Grimsby once a year.
Yeah, I've had that opinion thrown at me once or twice before.
Actually, that's a bit harsh. She really does like Grimsby.
Oh yeah, I never had that issue. That it is not a place that is liked by people I have been with.
my wife's from Bromley though, so everything's an improvement.
I might do a house swap with you next week, Mike. You can come and live in my house and use my season ticket, and I'll come down and stay in your house for the weekend. And if the game's anything like yesterday,
we'll go out,
your
Bruce.
House. I like your house. You've got a good house. Nice.
No, I know, but I've also got no excuse not to go to Blundell Park. No, yeah. I'm not too down. I'm not too down. Oh, look, Rich, right? This is a prime example. Rich of the podcast chat group.
Oh, he's got time to be sending screenshots.
Has just sent us a screenshot in the podcast chat at 8:05. He don't even know what time the podcast's on. I mean, this is. I'm afraid, Alex. It's gone to pot. You need to tighten up membership of the group, and you need to get the team together.
Right, let's do it live. Let's do it live on the podcast, Bruce. Who shall we kick out? Go on.
Me and Bruce.
Oh, no.
You get 3 people. We get 3 people we can kick out. Let's do it live on the podcast right now.
No,
so who are we kicking?
Come on, Mr. HR, going off in it and that.
No, we can't. No. I'm just saying you need to get the troops rallied. I mean, someone in the podcast group does need to know what time the podcast goes out on a Sunday. I mean, that's pretty fundamental.
It's 8 live. But if you want to watch it, YouTube, Facebook.
Anyway, it's about quality, not quantity, I guess, and we couldn't get
We're
that.
We're not here either.
No,
we're here. No. We're the constants. We're the constants. We're here.
Yeah, I think you two will be the you two are the you're the I don't know, the meat on our bone.
We've got nothing better to do with our lives.
No, you two must have the best records, the best attendance records of the season. Remember when, like you say, Sam used to keep a record, didn't he, last season of you've only been on the podcast 3 times, you've only been on and now we can't even get Sam, let alone a record of who's been on when.
That's convenient.
But he's still messaging. He's not even listening. Oh, this is disgusting. At least my messages are on silent. I mean, you'd have been moaning that someone in the podcast group was messaging, making my phone ping. But anyway, yeah.
Other than that, how's your week been, Bruce? You cheerful devil.
The post bag's full. My week's been good, mate. The weather's been good. I do like global warming.
Right. I mean, there we go. There's an opinion.
It's 12th of October, and I've been in shorts and a t-shirt today. I mean, when I was at school, you were getting ready for bonfire night in October, and you had your big coat on.
Bruce, I don't think you should be talking about liking global warming. Let's just have a look where Bruce is. How high up is Bruce's house above sea level?
I'm upstairs. I'm upstairs though.
You're upstairs, so you're fine.
we could always do a Venice, couldn't we?
Put out a really attractive shirt.
Downstairs could. I didn't get that. Downstairs could. We could move everything upstairs, and I could move my office into the loft. I did move up. We did one a few years ago. We had a warning that there was a high tide, and they said that they actually did say you should move your stuff upstairs. So we moved electrical items and things like that, and we actually listened and we believed them. And then I went down the seafront, and there was barely a little splash coming over the top of the sea wall.
It's not like you can. It's not like you can move the pitch up into the McMenemy's, though, is it?
Didn't you live in Doncaster at the time, Bruce?
Why?
Well, you moved everything, but you live nowhere near the sea.
I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, he's still messaging. Right, can you message him and just tell him that we're live on the podcast is live at the moment?
I do hope it's I am listening, Bruce.
Just trying to annoy us. Yeah. Anyway, yes, I've had a good week, thank you. It's really good. And like I say, the post bag's really full. I'm looking forward to that. I've enjoyed researching that this week. We've had a calendar's free October, and that's the way it's going to remain.
Boo!
Yeah. I didn't watch the Tin Pot Trophy on Tuesday.
Neither did I.
I did a few bets and sort of watched scores on my phone and stuff. Nothing too much. And I went to work, and doesn't it go quick when you get older? Like the weeks. I mean, you two were younger than I am.
I don't know. I'll let you know when I get old.
I bet your weeks go like bloody flying with them 2 kids, mate. I bet you don't let your ass don't touch the floor.
I blink and it's Thursday.
Exactly. Yes, you do know exactly what it's like.
I'm noticing a lot more grey hairs though.
At least you've got hair.
Yeah, got quite a few in there.
You look quite. I was going to say actually though, you do look quite. Oh, all right. You did look quite sort of fresh, and you look way too fresh for someone that's got a fairly young family. I was always absolutely done in when until Maisie was about 6. I was always knackered. Absolutely.
Aaron's saying I betrayed Grimsby for Farnham. Aaron, they're up the road, my friend. They kicked off early. I went and supported the team down the road. That was all. And then I went and watched Town lose to Colchester. Shit. But there we go. Nice ground though, Bruce. You'll like it. Got a brew dog in it.
Yeah, I don't like that IPA shit.
Well, you can have a lager.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right then. I found in the fan zone. I found something I like. I like the mango cider.
Yeah, mango cider is nice, but it makes Doc smell weird.
It also goes down pretty easily. It's like drinking. I don't know. It's just like drinking a
bongo.
Drink. Yeah, it is. It is. And then you end up doing the bloody Congo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I paid you a compliment and you disappeared.
That's what it was. I heard a compliment and then my computer just went, and had a moment. I think my computer was shocked.
Right, is Hannah winding us up now? Are they just doing this for a laugh? Are you two got Ant and Deck going to pop up on the screen on me in a minute?
Hang on 2 seconds.
How bad you got to be?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently recording a podcast, all of whom you are members of the WhatsApp group to appear on. As neither of you two people have requested to come on the podcast, I do think it is slightly rude that you continue to message during the recording of the podcast, both of whom you can join and be part of and to discuss. There we go. Done. Does that make you feel better, Bruce?
Yeah, it's arrived. Your voice message has arrived. Let's see what happens.
There's one of his passive aggressive voice notes that he sends.
I can't listen to him. I can't listen to him though, right? Because in the car, I've got the Apple CarPlay. Alex Green sent a message to DN35, and Maisie's like, "Oh, here we go," rubbing her hands together, and I'm like, "Oh,
Mark."
I'm like, "Oh no, what's this going to be?" And then when he sends them voice messages, I can't listen to them at work because I can sometimes message quietly, but when Alex starts effing and blinding on a voice message, I can't do too much about that. So during the working day, I do request that you do a written message that I can read rather than something I have to play out in front of people.
No, you can't do that. Do you know what the worst thing is? Because he gets really angry. Is when he's driving, he's not allowed any messages to come through. Doesn't matter what we're doing when he sends messages, but when he's driving, he has an issue with it. And you send a couple of messages, you get an RC WhatsApp. And then 5 minutes later, he calls you up having a go because he's on the third song in Les Mis and he's heard it 4 times because he's trying to get through the soundtrack on his drive back. Because the world revolves around Alex and what Alex is doing.
I'm belting it out. And that WhatsApp group has been quiet for 7 hours that day. And then all of a sudden, the second I start going down and the beat's about to drop in Les Mis.
You've sung One Day More 17 times, Alex, for fuck's sake.
Do you know what? Poor John Valjean is never getting out of that fucking prison at this rate.
It's like Mount Vesuvius, that group, though, isn't it? It sits dormant for like forever, and then all of a sudden, the club put out a post where the B and the Y are the wrong way round on Grimsby or something, and it just goes into, and you've been, and I mean, I do, you know, I'm part of it. I'll hold my hands up.
You're the worst. You're the worst.
But you'll be like, if you go away for a bit. And it's just like, oh God, why is there 42 missed messages in 5 minutes? And you're just like, where have they?
It's because everybody else is recording a podcast.
I told you it was passive aggressive, Alex.
It's not passive aggressive. It was
you
aggressive.
Started getting replies. Should we move on?
I might just mute the group. Yes. Can we talk about the game yesterday? I'd love to do that.
Should we start?
Oh, for goodness sake.
He's not ready.
Open wide for some soccer!
It's broken. It's broken.
What's going on?
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
Say, they got a penalty here, there'll be fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! This is Vernon! Vernon scored! The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. What the heck was that? Welcome to the DN35 podcast. For those of you who aren't just in our WhatsApp group, not contributing, we would also like to welcome you as well. Actually, those ones aren't listening. We are joined by Mike and Bruce to talk through Town losing to Cowleys again. Is it a thing? I don't know. Last time we played them, we beat them, apart from yesterday. So I didn't watch it. I wasn't paying any attention. I was in the pub. Mike, Bruce, you were watching. What were your thoughts? I will go back to being passive aggressive on the WhatsApp group.
Do you want to go first, Bruce? No. He's shaking his head because that's good for an audio podcast, isn't it? Yeah, it was a bit of a shit day. Firstly, a positive. I don't know, me positive, but it will be forgotten as it probably is right for it to be do. But I thought the first 25 minutes of the game, I thought we were absolutely outstanding. To be honest, I thought we were dominating the game. I thought we were really utilising that left-hand side with Vernon and Corey and Sweeney and even McEachran coming across. And I thought they had no answer for that for the first 25 minutes. And I was surprised the first goal came from a set piece that we've been pretty poor at so far this season. Although I'm wondering whether that's slightly by design because we're always looking for that front post flick on, which is what we scored from. And so we get the lead, Kieran Green with a towering header straight at the keeper, but just over him 1-0. And you think, right, we're really good money for that. We deserve that. And we need to kick on here, take the game out and get 3 and get the game done and dusted. About 25th minute in, the game started getting a bit scrappy, sort of coincided with McEachran and Corey getting 2 yellow cards about the same sort of time. And I thought from then on in for the rest of the half, it was fairly even, but the game was a bit stop-start and we just couldn't get going. I don't think they did anything in particular the first half other than score a set piece as well. But yeah, they scored a set piece, which is never good. I could come back to that in a minute. But then second half was just so poor, so bad. And I don't think it's anything other than the fact we just didn't want to pass the ball. I was watching that game for the first 20 minutes of the second half, and it was like a basketball game to me. We just kept turning the ball over, and they kept coming back, and we were turning it over. And I don't think that suits us. We're a possession-based side that like to have the ball, like to move the ball about, and like to dictate play. And I think for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, second half, we didn't do that at all. And we didn't look like we wanted to do that. McEachran's not getting on the ball. Corey's not getting on the ball. We stopped going down our left side. And then we've got no answer. They've probably put a couple of players over there, and instead of looking for the space that they've made by doing that, we just didn't have any answers. They get a second, and then they kill the game off like any away team's going to do. Any good away team's going to do. They killed the game off from when we got the second, and that was all she wrote. But I look at that team and I think when the midfield wasn't playing like it wasn't yesterday, it really does cause us a problem. And it sort of reminded me a little bit of the Barnet game. We were going very direct. We didn't play too many more passes than Colchester. And if Colchester are a team that are trying to stop you playing football, then you don't want to be playing anywhere near as many passes as them. But yeah, disappointing. On the 2 goals, I've been speaking to Alex about this. I think they're very minor criticisms, but I'll do it anyway. I think Warren has been unbelievable this season. Absolutely fantastic. Most improved player. He's learning the job as a centre-back and he's doing really, really well. I do think from time to time, and I've seen this, he likes to put in a big challenge, likes to G himself up and G the team up, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love that. I think for the ball before they got the corner, he did a little bit of that and put it out for a corner instead of putting it out for a throw-in, and the goal comes from that. So it's not a big criticism. It's very minor, but when you get to the stage we are, the minor things matter, the little 1% as people call them. So we could maybe look at that. And then for the second, it is a foul. It's a high boot. I think an experienced centre-back that's dealt with that a lot will know instantly, roll round and hold your head. I don't care if it's gamesmanship. You need to convince the referee that something's happened. But again, he's learning and that will come.
Basically saying Danny Cowley's team would not concede that goal.
No, well... I think as an experienced centre,
their keeper went down 4 times with a fucking head injury. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
And again, it's not a big criticism. I don't want it to be a criticism. I think it's an observation, and he's learning a position. He's doing really, really well. There's just a few little things he's going to have to pick up on the job, and that's absolutely fine. But I think an experienced centre back that's been doing that for a couple of years knows that was a high foot. I'm going to roll around, holding my head a little bit, and then you make the referee has to make a decision. If you just sit there looking back at him, he's not well. All right. But yeah, really bad, disappointing.
We didn't complain a lot. I didn't think we complained a lot about that, and I don't think we complained a great deal about a lot of the the little things that I wouldn't say we were in the ref's ear all game. I know it's changed a little bit, and a lot of the time it's only supposed to be Kieran Green that talks to the ref now, isn't it? But it, I thought after that was a big thing to go 2-1 down in the game, and there was very little complaint from us. Yesterday I thought, like you say, after half an hour we looked, because we just looked flat. We just didn't do what we're good at. But the crazy thing is, it wasn't a Bristol Rovers game. It wasn't a Newport game. We did the thing that I think we're going to need to do at home, which was score the first goal of the game. If we score the first goal of the game, they're not time wasting. They're not messing about. They're not doing, they're not doing the gamesmanship, because it's their time that they're wasting. As soon as if we're at 0-0 or they go 1-0 up, then it gets even bloody worse then when that happens. And it was just disappointing yesterday, because we put ourselves, as you say, in the first half an hour in the golden position that we should then, as a good team, a team that's at the top of this league, we go on and win the game. But yesterday, as you've already touched on, the passing wasn't great after that time, and I thought, I don't really look at formations and stuff as much, and tactics perhaps as much as you do, but we barely got, when Svan Thorson came on with about, 25 minutes, he was on for quite a while, half an hour maybe. He must have had 5 or 6 touches, and that was it. What we ended up with, and it's probably down to them, was we ended up with Harvey Rogers at like an inside right with the ball, and they just had the men behind the ball. I thought they worked hard. It was, like you say, it was a typical Cowley performance, but it was a sort of performance we've been away from home. The shithousery and the time wasting and stuff like that, we've had that levered at us. And like Alex says, any good away team, sadly, it's anti-football, but any good away team that goes into the lead in a game does that. Certainly at this level. I don't know if you see it so much in like at the top level in the Premier League and stuff like that. But we didn't get Vernam on the ball. I couldn't even tell you. How long did Vernam go off, or did he stay on? He went off right near the end, didn't he?
He went off the Sunset Bell about 80.
Yeah,
80 minutes.
and then we obviously took off Cabia, and initially we put Amaluza down the middle, didn't we? And he, because I think it was that physical presence, because we gave poor old Cabia, we gave him no service that he's used to yesterday. It was all he was doing was competing with centre backs for headers from clearances. There was nothing we played nothing in behind yesterday for him to get onto. It was just really flat, and we've still got that. We've seen that, like you say, we saw that at Barnet, and we've still got that in us, and we can't have too many of them if we want to be in the top 3. Otherwise, we're going to be, if we have too many off days, then we're going to be looking at the playoffs again. But yeah, I mean, no one's getting too down, but they did a job on us yesterday, and we didn't help ourselves, and it worked a treat for them.
I think the problem is when you're not passing the ball, and especially when you're behind against a Danny Cowley team who will know how to hold on to a lead, slow the game down, and frustrate you. If you're trying to get back into that game, you
hide
need to
the ball in their dugout.
Yeah, but if we'd done it, we'd love it. You know what I mean?
No, you would be the pious sort of prick that would come on here.
I used to love Crocombe Camp.
No, I'm not having it. You'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't like it. It's against what we are now as a team.
Behave. Every bit of shithousery we've done. Every bit of shithousery we've ever done, I'm behind. You're thinking of Sam.
This is what you would have said now, is that I loved Crocombe Cramp back in the day. It got us where we needed to be, and it was a lot of fun. But now I believe we're a better footballing team, and at home, I don't want to see us doing that. That's what you would say. Yeah, that's what you'd say. Absolutely. And you do it in that sort of tone as well. I liked it back in the day. It was really good. But now we need to be a better team, performing at a higher and better moral level than we are now. I think that would be what you'd say.
Yeah, don't talk shit, Greens. But as I said, when you're trying to get back into the game, team who Danny Cowley's team are going to be able to stop you playing, frustrate you. You've got to sustain pressure. And that means you've got to pass the ball about a little bit, get it moving, get them moving, because they're not going to come out of their shape and make space for you to in transition to get back at them. And every time you fuck it up and you go long or you miss it, it's going to take you a couple of minutes to get back to that and to sustain some more pressure. So if you're not going to pass the ball, you're not going to break a team like that down. And I didn't think we ever were. I mean, we chucked one into the box late on and got a header, but that's not how we're trying to play football. So we didn't get the ball to Vernam enough. We didn't get the ball to Svan Sorensen enough.
Got to be better now, don't we? Yeah, got to be
yeah.
better.
I mean, there's a time and a place, don't get me wrong, but if you're relying on chucking the ball into Sunsup Bell on the back post, I don't think you're going to get many goals that way. But there's a time and a place for it. But you've got to get the ball to Vernam. You've got to get it to Svan Sorensen. You've got to move them about and play football. Get your foot on the ball. And, that first 20 minutes of the first half, I'm just thinking, it doesn't matter if you score. Just get your foot on the ball, 5 or 10 minutes, wrestle this game back into some sort of control and get yourself playing. Right, don't worry about scoring a goal for 5 or 10 minutes. Just get control of the ball. But it was like a basketball match. I might have just misremembered it because I noticed it and I've overplayed it in my mind. But it did look to me like it was just changing possession every 5 seconds. And for a team that needs to have the ball, dominate possession, and play football, that's no good for us. It's no good for us. We need the football.
Again, Mike taking us back to the Cowleys hiding the ball in the dugout. We need the football.
Well, at least we've got round ball. At least we've got round ball.
Please give us the football.
Sir, can I have my ball back, please, sir? Sir, can I have my ball back?
I was disappointed with the first goal when you've got both Rodgers and McJanet at the back post and they both miss it. That isn't what you want to be seeing from your, certified central defenders. So that's a shame. And yeah, Warren. The problem I have with the Warren incident is, yes, he should have gone down clutching his head. He still goes down and he weakly looks at the ref, going, "Ref, is that not a foul?" It's like, mate, you commit. You've got to be like a poker player, all in, clutching your head. I can't, Jesus, is that you? Shall I walk towards you? That's you got to be, that's the way it is. Roll around the floor. I want you doing backflips into the pontoon.
He needs one of those little sachets of ketchup like they have on TV, doesn't he? When it
Shaun of the Dead.
Just taped inside the top of his shirt, just pulls it out and squirts it all over his face.
Like hot foot, when he stabs himself in the eye.
You know what he's got to do? He's got to give Cabby the opportunity to do what he does a lot of. And watch this: when there's a challenge that goes in, it happened in the first half, I think, or early in the second. Challenge went in on Sweeney. It was a second half. Challenge went in on Sweeney, and he runs over. It wasn't a bad challenge. It was a free kick, but he runs over, holding his head like Sweeney's just been broken in half.
I can't believe what I've just seen.
Oh my God, can you believe what I've just seen? Give Cabby the chance to run over and pretend somebody's just been shot, because he will.
It'd be nice if someone was back there defending instead of Christy Pym going for a walk.
Whose goal was it the other week that Cabby put his head in his hands? Was it Walker's?
Yeah.
When he sort of stood on the 6-yard line as it rockets in, and he's just heading.
It's the
oh
kid
my
to
God,
this,
that's
it's
Jamie
this
Walker's
generation.
music.
It's this generation, Brice. Charlie does the same. If I get him a good present for Christmas, he's like, "Oh my God, what is this? This is amazing!"
I loved it. I loved it. I just thought it was just like, oh my word! And then he went and grabbed the ball and then ran off and celebrated with the others. But yeah, that was brilliant. But
he does it for every challenge, though. If there's a challenge where you think, "Oh, that's a bit," he runs over like the person's dead. I mean, I love it. But, our football is better than this, so we don't need that sort of behaviour.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, Mike. I thought you'd say that.
It was a game yesterday. I can't remember either keeper pulling off many saves. It was a game of such few chances. It really wasn't. It wasn't an attractive spectacle at all, was it?
In Pym's defence, he did make at least 3 saves in that goalmouth scramble before they put it in.
Oh, that's it. I couldn't remember the first goal. I couldn't. I've forgotten that quickly.
Lower bar.
Yeah, I couldn't. I went in the. Maisie played at the Linden Club yesterday morning, and Cleethorpes were at home, so we went in the bar after the game, and it's a bit sort of like, we're not going to the game, but I'm going to come and have a couple of pints and spend some money in your bar, but I'll have to watch Town at home, And it
Oh,
was,
Trent
yeah, so I had a
Abbott.
couple there, but we were sat in the beer garden, and the ones that didn't go to the town game just were in the beer garden all afternoon. It was the sun was so warm yesterday. It was just
Were you not?
everything was perfect yesterday, apart from the last hour of the game.
I'm sorry, mate. I apologise. This sounds awful for you. I do like Farnham's setup though. If anyone's down this way, come down. It's a good game. They played. Do you know what? It was nice to watch Sutton, especially after. Can you remember how we were all so livid with that Lino giving that penalty in the last minute of the game?
We were all looking for his car, weren't we?
Yeah. I was and then there they are. They're in the corner going absolutely apoplectic of equalising in the last 96 minutes they got for that. There was no 6 minutes extra time. They scored in the 97th and they were all going absolutely mad. Amazing.
The funniest thing I thought from yesterday is Crofty got asked by Matt Dean, how long do you think how much at a time do you think? And he said 3 or 4 minutes. And I was like, well, they've spent 3 or 4 minutes with a goalkeeper pretending that he's took a knock
dead.
on the head.
Yeah.
I was like, if they put up 3 or 4 minutes, then there'll be a mutiny on our bench.
We were 2 minutes. We were 2 points behind top. We were second at one point yesterday, which was quite nice.
Yeah, but it looks like I was looking at the table, and we're very much a win 2, draw 1, lose 1 team at the minute, just from the figures. And I think that would be enough to be up there and in with a shot if we just stay as we are. So I know the early expectation is now that we're going to be a top 3 side, but I don't think that ever was the expectation before the season. So I don't think I've seen any of this, but I do think as the season goes on, we do need to not let our expectations get falsely raised to a standard that's
going up, mate.
Fair. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm the worst for it. I'll do it all the time. We win a game, we're going up. But I just think a little bit we're not. We're a really good side. We've got a lot more to do though, and performances like that and Barnet are the ones that causes problems. But quite often we do bounce back from these things. So I would hope it's an ideal opportunity against Gillingham at home next Saturday to bounce back, have a good performance, and put it to bed. And we do tend to do that. Every time we've lost, we've gone and won the game, haven't we?
There you go, people. 20 minutes of town chat there. Bruce, you got anything to add before we move on?
I was just going to say to Mike about getting carried away and stuff. It's maybe not a bad thing that Sam's not on the podcast as often this year, because he does have his little son nickname in the chat, doesn't he? That I christened him it, but because of his overreaction to things. So it's maybe not a bad thing that, like you say, he'd be up and down, wouldn't he? Last week when we beat Salford, he'd be absolutely on a high, and then this week we'd be getting relegated.
I agree, Pete. That's why I said top 3, mate. I don't think any of us before the start of the season would have thought we're going to be a top 3 team. I think we look like we could be, but I think maybe a few good results and performance maybe make us all think, we're going up as champions. Now I know I've booked a bus and everything, and I'm still
people will get kind of excited when you beat Manchester United, though.
Yeah, we're still going up.
And to be fair, there's a long way to go, isn't there? But the thing is that when you do, everyone's going to lose games. And as Mike says, we've bounced back when we've lost games this season so far. Now, all of a sudden, you've got... so we're at home Saturday, aren't we? Then we are away at Crewe, I think. We've certainly got Crewe coming up in the next few weeks. So we need to, if we want to be in the top, we need to keep doing what you say, Mike. When we do have a blip, that it's just a 1-game blip. We don't want to lose on Saturday again. Then you've got no points from 6. You're 7 points off top, and you go into Crewe where you really we really need to get something today. We have to keep bouncing back, and we, and so far the evidence is that we do that. But it's a position we're not used to, isn't it? I mean, we were doing the same last year. We were doing the same sort of thing later in the season, hanging on to the 7th place, and obviously in the end, ultimately that cost us. But yeah, I'm still hopeful. But there have been 2 or 3 games that just make me wonder: are we quite good enough for that? But I mean, look at town teams of the past. You know, it's you just don't know what's going to happen during the season. In Buckley's first promotion season, we were mid-table, and then we went and won 7 games in February and March on the spin. You know, it's like all of a sudden you're second. You know, anything can happen, and that can happen the other way. So there's a long way to go. I don't think anyone's getting too down, but we do whatever anyone says, we do seem to be having a few problems against teams that should we say don't play football like we do. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think the point I'm trying to make is is that we're really good football inside, and I'm really excited for what we can do this year. I think we could blow teams away, and we could go 5, 6, 7 games on the bounce. But I think we could also lose 1 or 2 on the way as well, just because of how we play football. And the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think we should expect to win every week. I think we should expect to win quite a lot. And when we don't, just understand these things are going to happen in a Division 4 season. You know, so yesterday was disappointing. It doesn't dampen my spirits at all. I still think we're going to be in with a shout, but these things are going to happen along the way. And I haven't seen anything in this league so far from the games I've watched us play in, and I can't look at you. The games I've seen us playing and the other games I've seen that worry me. I think we're at least a match for everything we've seen, and for the majority of them, we're better.
The Osmond was, I don't know if you saw on TV, but the Osmond was really full yesterday. Now, obviously, there was that publicised thing that they'd given a couple of 100 tickets away. But the 1878 membership, 20 quid tickets, is clearly working, because there's been a good turnout in the Osmond every week. It's a great price for 15 quid that you get. You get your money back by the time you've been to about 3 or 4 games. You get, because it's 26 quid I think now, or 27 quid if you pay on the day. So instantly, in two and a bit games, you're getting your money back. But the numbers in the Osmond have been growing, and I think the crowd yesterday was 6,900 something, and there was only 240 of them. So you've got sort of 6,700 town fans in the ground, which a few years ago, when you look back, the stuff that I've been sharing today, there's been games in the conference. I forgot how low our crowds went. In the early conference seasons, 2011, 12, 13, we could get 2,500, 2,600 at home, and now we're getting 6,700 home fans. What's happened off the pitch and the increased interest and all that sort of stuff, we take for granted, but it's massively changed, and just the numbers at Blundell Park, the match day revenue and stuff must have changed massively in the last 4 or 5 years.
And you're right, Bruce. And I think there are times when you need to just take a moment to realise how far we've come in the last 3 years, 4 years, maybe. It's only a good thing. You guys Bruce, you'll probably be better to tell us exactly how many people you see, walking around town now in town shirts instead of loser Man United shirts and stuff like that. It must be quite nice. I see quite a lot when I get back, and it's brilliant to see. And Blundell Park is starting to. I see so many stats coming out going, how full is your ground as a percentage? And Blundell Park is always sort of up there, and we get shit travelling support to Blundell Park every time. I don't know why, but it's the shorts. It's the shorts. The shorts put people off coming. That big full frontal crotch picture on the back of the Findus now is pretty disgusting.
Just while we're talking about fans, and I think we've nearly sort of done on the game. When I went back to the Linden yesterday, the amount that there must have been 20.
Are you being fucking sponsored by the Linden?
Right, just when I went back to the Linden yesterday,
and had this lovely homebrew Linden pints that you could get.
That's the alternative. It's just like you two talking about your bloody fridges at home. Anyway, when I've been to the game...
When have I ever spoken about my fucking fridge?
When I've been to the game, and I went back to the Linden, the fans of Prescott Cables were there, still in the bar, enjoying themselves. And there must have been 20 or 30 of them. When we got in there, they were having a sing-song. They'd obviously clearly had a few beers. And we got chatting to a couple of old boys, and he'd come for the week. He was staying on Thorpe Park. Or 3 or 4 of them were staying on Thorpe Park. And it
did
just
you
makes
pass on the
realise, doesn't it,
details?
that,
Look, you're going to wind up. No, you're going to wind Mike up now. Was there, Mike, you need to get some business cards printed out. So when Bruce is in the Linden, which is, just off the, main road,
Clee Road.
Clee Road.
Right.
When's it open till?
But it's just, the people that talk about non-league and the smaller clubs and stuff. And these guys, we were like, someone was like, "What, you're staying over?" And it's like, yeah, but I would do that if we were going to a game in Exeter, or we were going to a game in Newport, or we make a weekend of it sometimes. Mike comes home, you come, you make a weekend of it. There's just less of them, but these people are just following their team, and it was just like, and he's like, "We've had a cracking weekend last night." He must have been in his 70s, this guy, and he went, "Last night we ended up in this place. Oh," he said it was incredible, and he went, "What do you call it? The Swashbuckle." And I mean, they just had a great weekend. I mean, they were all steaming. They were absolutely leathered. But it's just like, it's great that, they've come to Cleethorpes to watch their team, and it doesn't matter what, they're not the bloody Premier League, and they're not sat at the front at Liverpool, with the selfie sticks and the cameras and stuff. And, it's grassroots, it's real, and they were just proper football fans. And just because they support a team that's at tier step 6 or whatever it may be, I don't know what step it is, but of non-league, of the league, it's just like, I was just really impressed, and they were really good people. I know it's not to do with town and it's whatever, but maybe we're moving into the chat shit bit at the end now.
And where was that, Bruce?
Well,
where did you do that?
It was at Cleethorpes Town's bar.
What's that called? The Linden Club.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to dip into the post bag? I've got some.
Well, 2 seconds. Mike wants to bring it back about physicality.
Oh, hang on. Bring it back.
I think it's less to do with physicality. I think it's more about teams coming to stifle us at home. And we were going to have exactly the same with Cheltenham before Jamie Walker became a god for 35 seconds, and they lost their heads where we were 1-0 down and struggling to, it took 2 worldies. I think that's what we struggle with rather than the physicality of it, because we have played some physical teams where we've had, we've done a number on them. So that would be my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I just wondered if you want to, because I've seen a lot of it, and I don't know if it's that I'm too entrenched in my position and I won't move, but I just don't see it as that. I think Colchester did the ugly side of the game really well yesterday, better than anybody I've seen in this division this year. But I think they were better than what we maybe give them credit for. I thought they were decent enough on the ball. They had the same pass completion as us. We went longer than them, more than them. They didn't play that many less passes than us or attempt to play. So I think when you actually look at it, I don't think it was a big physical team. I think it was a team that knew what they were doing, got their noses in front, and then managed to slow us down and stop us. So I don't know. I think this tag of physical teams that like to be aggressive, I think it's an easy tag to put on, but I don't see it myself yet. I could be wrong and it could be true, but I just don't see it. And I think it's just too easy a box to fit it into.
Do you think
we didn't pass the ball? We did not pass the ball.
I say, do you think it's? Yeah.
Is that me or him?
I thought it was my internet being shit, but yeah, no. He's Bruce, you're dead.
Start again, mate.
Wiggle around a bit. Use a laptop instead of your phone.
My phone works all right normally. Is that work any good?
Yeah, we'll check out in edit. Nobody will know.
Yeah, it's not live.
Okay. No, I was just going to say, do you think teams have come that come now they're happy? They come for a point really, and if they get more than that, it's a bonus. So we're coming up against teams who are just working hard. They're keeping a shape, and like you say, Mike, it's not perhaps that they're big and they're anti-football. It's just that teams are having to come to us and they're having to work really hard. They're having to graft. They're having to get physical if they want to take something from the game, because they think if they play us in a game of football, that we'll win.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we touched on it last week. I think it's a sign of the progression that we've had, that teams are going to stop. You know, we're not going to want to stop them playing. We're going to think how we can get at them, and they're going to think about us more than we think about them. I think that's just a sign of the progression. Teams coming to Blundell Park think, right, if we're really open and go for this here, we're going to get absolutely torn to shreds, because we can do that when we pass the ball. But as much as we've lost a couple of games, Barnet is the only game that we've not been. Unless I've forgotten something blandly obvious and just put it out of my mind. But I think Barnet's the only game where I thought we were just terrible and didn't deserve something from the game. Everything else, I mean, people talk about the Bristol Rovers game. First half, we were terrible. But second half, we were all over them. We got in behind so many times. We just didn't score a goal. They didn't stop us playing, Bristol. They did not stop us playing. We just didn't score a goal in that second half. I think if you look at the stats, shots, forward passes, touches in the box, were really high. We just didn't score a goal. So I don't know what it is, but teams are going to want to try and stop us playing, because on the ball with a lot of possession at home, we're going to be really good.
I'm bored of talking about.
I agree.
Bloody Town ruined my Saturday again. Saying that less though. Saying that a lot less.
Well, that's how winning works.
We've strung that out. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, do you know what we fucking have as well? Jesus. Still more entertaining than watching Cowley's shite. Bruce, you've got your ball bag's full. What did you want to do with it?
Excuse me?
Empty it.
Fine. There we go. Go on then.
Right. Okay. Where do you want to go? Yeah, the post bag has been busy this week. I think we go with the one that I sent you a little clip of for a start.
Have you still not done him a theme tune?
No, because the one you keep sending over is a copyrighted music.
How many times have I sent you it over, Alex?
Yeah, but it's the copyright one, isn't it?
So you keep sending over like I'm sending you malicious communications.
I don't have anything for it. There is nothing for a post bag. They've got no post bag thing. Let's do this one. No, let's not do that one. It won't work. Right, go on, Bruce.
Okay. The headline. This is from the 27th of September 1996. So Town would have been. It was a relegation season, and the fans were at each other's throats. As I've been reading these, I remember now. It's just like Twitter, Facebook, the fishy, but people just used to have their arguments in printed press. So somebody would write a letter one week, and then a week later somebody else would moan, and then the other guy had come back the following week, and it's quite funny. So the headline is,
they'd have a week to calm down about it.
The headline is, "No, I'm not a basket case, Mr. Shopper. I feel that I should reply to the letter in Tuesday's edition by acquainting Mr. J.W. Lyon with some facts. I certainly do not prefer shopping to watching football. I have supported the Mariners through good and bad times for over 25 years. I will be at the next home match and for the remainder of the season, come what may. Sadly, I think he has missed the point of my wife's original letter, which was written tongue-in-cheek. She was simply making the point that also this has gone beyond that. This is he's sticking up for his wife now. She was simply making the point that things must be bad at Blundell Park for the moment for me to miss a game. In any event, I would question how Mr. feels he has the right to comment about my non-attendance. I am given to a blah blah blah. No, I can't say that bit. Yes.
Well, hang on, what you read this stuff before, and you've
So anyway, so he wasn't happy.
Hang on, Bruce.
Fine.
Why can't you read it? It was published in a newspaper. If I mean,
okay.
we've got quite low.
In any, hurrah for the black shirts was in a newspaper once.
No, that was the Mail though, wasn't it? You know.
Yeah, but some of these things I've found. I mean, I've found for the other account before. I've found bits about like fans in court for violence in the 70s, and I've nearly posted them like on this day, and then I'm like, oh, maybe that granddad's put that behind him now. I don't want to be bringing that up again. Got another one. I'm writing in response to Mr. Lyon's article, which appeared under the headline "Is he off his trolley?" which appeared in the Evening Telegraph on September the 24th. While I cannot condone Mr. Keeble's activities, so Mr. Keeble's the one that didn't go to the game, I think that Mr. Lyon is being most unfair in suggesting Grimsby is becoming something of a football backwater due to Mr. Keeble going shopping with his wife. I really do feel he's missing the point, and the reason Grimsby Town's demise may have something to do with a certain Mr. Laws. I would therefore respectfully suggest that it should be Mr. Laws who should go shopping on Saturday afternoon and leave the running of the football club to somebody who knows something about football. And allow Mr. Keeble to get back to the terraces. So that was that one.
This is escalating, isn't it? You can see this week on week. This is escalating to sort of like a gang war.
Thursday, you meet outside the Telegraph car park now.
There is something poetically beautiful about everybody being called Mister in it, isn't there?
Oh, it's a basically you're calling him an arsehole, aren't you? when you call him Mister, it's like it's you basically
my last email.
It does wind me up in football when when someone's not happy about something. It's Fenty or it's Stockwood. It's not John Fenty or Jason Stockwood. It's surname only. It's like school teacher stuff.
It's the tone Alex
it's certainly not
for most things.
It's certainly hang on, what? It's certainly not Fenty in this house.
Fenties.
Right,
Is there any Grimsby S's on the end?
I've got another one for you from the Isle of Wight. I have been a supporter of GTFC since the days of Billy Cairns to Ron Rafferty to Matt Tees. I took in my first game of the season last Saturday versus Oxford. As you can see from my address, it's a bit expensive and difficult to get to more than 6 or 7 games a season. I'd heard on the grapevine things were not good, but the load of garbage that was served up was unbelievable. No game plan, no effort, no ideas, no hope. A keeper who has no idea of penalty area domination. Not a clue about free kicks. 5 out of 7 went backwards and were lost. I counted them. How many times did we see Toontown players try and head the same ball? When I were a lad, we were taught to pass to a player, i.e. a couple of yards in front, not into his feet or behind him. Years old basics which still hold today. I realise that it's very easy to criticise, but when you lay out £12 for a ticket and get served up with rubbish, then it's my right to criticise. My solutions: Mr. Laws, resign in a fit of decency. Number 2, see above for the directors. 3, bring in Dudley Ramsden. 4, Kevin Drinkle or John Cockerill or somebody who has the Mariners at heart if need be. Me, maybe. One last point. I thought the chap who ran on the pitch and was chucked out can consider himself very lucky. I stuck it out till the end. Mr. Keithley of Northumberland Road, Newport, the Isle of Wight. I mean, you can understand that if he'd gone up and we'd played shit, couldn't you? That's a trek and a half. And I think
I'm loving these.
Unless you want one more. Do you want one more?
Go on then.
Right, I'll give you one more and then I'll save the rest for. Do you want desperate times? Keeper a priority against greatcoats. The bookies got it right.
Against greatcoats. Against greatcoats.
I want to hear that argument.
No news.
In my opinion, moving to greatcoats for GTFC would be a disaster. I would like to see the Mariners in the Premiership, but let's face it, that dream is far away. Now, if Tommy Cooper, the comedian, was still alive today, he might just fill the Greatcoat Stadium, but not Town on 5,000 gates. Please, Mr. Laws, every time we pick up the Evening Telegraph, we read that we are going to sign Joe Van Plonk from a Dutch club, and the next evening in the paper, he's going to sign for someone else. Let us not get through that phase again. Well, that just completely lost the thread, didn't it? It was on about greatcoats, and then Mr. Lane of Grimsby was James Street. I don't know where that is. He'd gone on to Brian Laws again. So, yeah, we've had a very 96, 97 theme, and obviously Brian Laws didn't see out the season.
There's no Joe Van Plonk registered in the Dutch leagues. I've just looked.
Okay.
There are people, when you're going back to history, Bruce, there are people that I would love to interview now, just like as town cult heroes. So that fan, when we lost 3-0 at home to Oldham, which was Brian Laws' last game, who, after when Oldham scored the third, went and sat on the centre spot in protest go, it can't get any worse than this. How dare we be losing 3-0 in the Championship? I would love to know where they are now, who it was, and how they feel about the current situation.
Well,
And what did they do the day we got relegated at Burton?
I've thought that for years, that we kicked off. I mean, in 96, 97, we'd been in the Championship for five or 6 years. And I think before that, we'd only spent since 1981 or 1980. Sorry, we'd only spent about the three or four seasons just before Buckley came in his first season, couple of seasons outside of that level. So the fans were used to that level. No matter what people say that we were punching above our weights or whatever, we'd spent the best part of sort of 15 or 16 years at that level by that point, with only 3 or 4 away. So it was used to it, but I could never believe that people were on the pitch and, like you say, there were protests and stuff like that. And when we dropped out of the league, it's like we'd been sort of like brainwashed, that we just slowly got after the Cardiff debacle. We just got shitter and shitter for about 3 years, and then we sort of slipped out the league with barely a whimper. And I mean, there was obviously what went on at Burton, but with regards to protests at home, there was nothing. We just thought, this is it. This is where we are now. And then next thing, you're opening the season at Crawley in the conference. I could never get my head around how people just accepted it. But anyway,
basically, that Mick McCarthy meme is 30 years too late, isn't it? It can't go on like this, can it, Mick? It can. You know, and they're sat on the pitch. We walked around with a decade of like concussion, didn't we? Oh, this is fine. This is fine.
I think what cheered us up, what cheered us up was probably around 2014. That season, obviously, we ended up 14-15. We ended up losing to Bristol Rovers, unluckily. But that was the season, I think, where that group of like 200 young teenagers went everywhere, and our away numbers went up. And I mean, yes, the behaviour was borderline. It was on the edge. They were a bit lively for some and whatever. But I think that was where the club feels, you know, when you look at the attendances that I've talked about earlier, that, you know, we were on 2,500, 3,000 in the early conference years. And I think that was where, that period, I just remember one of my mates going to somewhere that I didn't go to, a fairly far-flung away day. And it's like, it was like going back to sort of the late 80s or the early 90s, and there was just this bouncy sort of couple of hundred teenagers, and it was on a Saturday. They were just taking us everywhere, and we were sort of doubling on. You know, our numbers just went. It became fashionable to follow town away if you were a young lad or lass in the town, and it was that's what got the club going again, I think.
I think as well. You're right. I remember those years. It was like there was some momentum build. I think we were always in a conference. We was always in and around it, weren't we? You know, we was always in with a shout with promotion. It was always the playoffs. But it's very difficult to get pissed off when you're in and around it. And I think also Paul Hurst created teams and groups of players that you just liked and wanted to get behind. So it was always difficult, wasn't it? It wasn't the Newell times where you've got your Linwoods and etc. It's like you've got Macca, Pearson, Disley, and it's just players you want to be together with, and it created that bit of a bond between the players and the fans, which obviously the fans and the club sort together. So I think that's why it stayed quiet. But then obviously when Holloway came and he brought all that dross in, I think that's where it was starting to turn then, wasn't it? Finally, that's when it started to turn.
But the problem was that the board at the time, though, didn't they? You know, we finally got that promotion. We got promoted, and we just went back to doing things the way we'd done them before. And we had a decent first season. Then Hurst moved on, and then there was a succession of different managers, and they just let the same thing happen again. And you know, and it was inevitable. We just got worse and worse season on season again. You know, no lessons were learned. And you know, thank God for, you know, Jason and Andrew and coming in, because, you know, as we talked about the other week with Alex's namesake, you know, we were just, where were we heading? Where we were heading into oblivion.
I mean, there was no plan. It was just chuck everything together, see if it works. And invariably it didn't. And then every 2 years you have to spend a fortune to get rid of players and managers and bring the old set in and spend 2 more years going through it all again. And as I've said, I'm not unconvinced you don't spend more money that way. I'm sure you must spend more money doing it that way than doing it properly and paying people more. You must do, because you're paying every fucker off. How many contracts have we paid off? Linwood's on every podcast saying he got a conservatory built. He was only here for 5 minutes.
I bet we
And,
got.
and 4 of those 5 minutes was in the Lakesby Arms.
I bet we got saddled with a few bar tabs as well when players had gone. Oh, we've been trying to contact Mr. So-and-so at this address, and we can't get hold of him. But we've been giving you as a forwarding details.
There we go. What a lovely day. And you've got an hour out of us after losing 2-1 to Colchester, where there was literally fuck all to talk about. Aren't you all so lucky? So lucky. No game today because we're all bored. And Bruce's postbag went on for longer than I thought it would. But who would have guessed? Bruce has got mail.
I've got to call it that, or sleepless in Seattle.
I'm nearly done with doing a video for it. Right. Anything for anybody else we need to talk about? Gillingham next week.
We've got we've got a free week this week, haven't we? Full week to dwell on it.
Yeah, brilliant. Lovely. Well, thank you all very much. It was lovely to talk to you all. And we will see you all next week. Goodbye. Bye-bye, everybody. What?
I was going to say, how long until Bruce leaves?
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
They got a penalty here, there'll be fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! This is Vernon! Vernon scores! The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.
Bruce is already gone.